Welcome once again to our own way of celebrating women in this year's International Women's Day. We call it the She World Series, a series of interviews with reputable top performers, female top performers, that is, who have made an impact in Nigeria, who have influenced the society, either in the corporate world and public service, in whichever way. And we just want to celebrate them to let the world know that while it is good to talk about women empowerment, we need to encourage women. It is not like Nigerian women are not strong, they're not resilient. It's not like they're not contributing to the society. So we're highlighting the few or the many who are already in the business of influencing lives and changing narratives. And today, we are somewhere in Victoria Island having a conversation with a woman who is synonymous to corporate communications in Nigeria, or should we say communication strategy or marketing communications or PR. In that space, the communication space, she's operated there for, if I'm not exaggerating, a little over 30 years. But she'll tell us a bit about herself. She is affiliated to Hill and Milton. She is affiliated to Scott. She's affiliated to Wando, and the list goes on. Today, we have the pleasure of Duro Saro. She'll tell us how that name is truly pronounced. Duro Saro George-Taylor. She's our guest today. And we say welcome to the show.
George-Taylor. George-Taylor is my maiden name.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, Tokunboh George-Taylor. All right.
Okay.
Great. Okay, so.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank
Yeah.
you so much. As you said, I'm Tokunboh George-Taylor. I'm a publicist. I've been doing communications for over 3 decades now. That's all I know. That's all I've ever done. I run the Scott agency. It's a PR consultancy. I acquired the assets and business transfer from Hill and Milton in 2023. I'm married with 2 beautiful children, a boy and a girl. And yes, that's me in a nutshell.
All right. So you've been in this game, this field for over 30 years. Many, I'm sure, started with you and they've read into either banking or something else. What has kept you in this game for 30 plus years?
Okay, first of all, I studied economics actually,
Oh,
and I thought I was going to be a banker. But that didn't come to life, and I, went into PR purely by accident as a youth corper when MultiChoice and Mnet first started. I think I'm an extrovert. You know, I like a lot of activity. I have a lot of energy, and I think this job actually suits my character because I'm meeting people, strategizing for people. I'm not doing the same thing every time. Every client comes with a different strategy. Every campaign comes with a different strategy. So I think for me, that keeps me going because I'm not stuck in a box. I'm being creative. And once you're being creative, the sky is your limit, basically.
all right. And getting into it by accident. Let's hear that story. How did you stumble
So
upon
what
that?
happened was I actually went to law school to take an exam for one of the top banks. When I came back, so I schooled in, I went to secondary school in England and I went to university in America. So I wanted to come back home. So obviously, I didn't pass the exam. So there was somebody that told me MultiChoice and Mnet first came into Nigeria. They
All right.
needed somebody to work in their comms department. So I worked there for a couple of years, was able to work with their South African PR agency, did all their comms and customer services. And that's when I found out that really that was for me.
Mm.
So I went to England to work in a proper PR agency, which I did for about 2, 3 years. And that really showed me that this is my forte. So it was whilst I was working there that I was headhunted by Wando, then Unipetrol, to come to Nigeria to work for them, and obviously did their rebranding as my first assignment.
First major assignment in Nigeria.
Yes.
And I remember meeting you then. I worked in Ghana at that time, and I saw this publication by Unipetrol at that time. Yeah, it was still Unipetrol. Your office was around airport residential area in Accra, and the publication actually had your name and all that. And I was planning some things in Lagos, and I came to Lagos to look for you.
Oh
That
wow.
was the first time of meeting, very long time ago.
Wow.
Yeah, but So you've been at this and you've made great impacts. What has been the most challenging exercise you've embarked on in your comms career?
Oh, definitely the rebranding of Wando.
Oh, okay.
That was crazy because it's not just rebranding a logo, right? This was Unipetrol was a government agency. So apart from rebranding the logo, we had to have all the stations. We had to get contractors. We had to look at quality of what they were doing because we had said the day of the launch, at least 100 stations must be ready so that when we unveil, people are not seeing Unipetrol, they're seeing Wando. I had to travel the whole of Nigeria to speak to dealers, transporters, to explain to them what this logo meant. There was a lot of change management because what happens is it's not just changing your brand externally. Internal is very important because if you can sell it internally, everybody externally will understand. So that was a major, and that was my first rebranding exercise. Um, it was pretty major, but we scaled through. We scaled through because you're working with different departments. You're working with the engineering department. You're working with HR. You're working with legal. Just letting them know, what's going to happen, how it's going to happen. Then obviously we had the launch event when we're going to unveil. So there was just so much going on at the same time.
Oh, that's a lot. But have you ever done anything with? Because when you talk about rebranding, what comes to mind is Nigeria needs to be rebranded.
I'm looking for them to call me and tell me I'm ready. I'm ready to help them rebrand.
All
That's
right.
one of the because when they rebranded in South Africa years
Yeah.
ago, that gave me a lot of insight on what rebranding can do to the external public about the perception, and I think once we get our branding right as a nation, our external perception will definitely change.
All right. So truly, Nigeria needs to be rebranded. I'm asking.
So. I think
You
so.
think so? Mm. And okay, let's not get into rebranding Nigeria right now. But you've been at this, and you've operated in this field for a long time. You've made your impact. You become a household name. Uh, you've encountered a lot of women. Would you say your rise in the corporate sphere in Nigeria was facilitated due to your background of, I mean, did I say comfort or affluence? Because we hear a lot of women have very unpleasant experiences or narratives about working in corporate Nigeria.
Okay. I think for me, personally, what has helped me has been my mother.
Okay.
My mother was an entrepreneur growing up. She did jobs, worked in an industry that men would work in. She was very aggressive. She knew what she wanted to do. So growing up, I felt as if I could do anything. I didn't look at my gender. I never looked at my gender. I just felt that if I want to do something, let me go for it. And my mom also really encourages us. Anything we want to do, she'll tell us to go. And I saw her. My mom was selling cement. She was selling beer. They were bringing trucks, and she was moving things. And I was like, So I think for me, that really encouraged me because she was fearless, and I felt if she can be fearless, let me let me try and follow the same path.
All right. So, but have you come across ladies that complain about the unfavorable conditions in corporate Nigeria for women?
Absolutely. Look, first of all, we have a lot of cultural nuances. There's a certain way they expect women to behave.
Yeah.
There's certain nuances. They expect us to focus more on motherhood, our wifely duties. They want us to pack away our passion. So it depends on where you're coming from. So some women struggle because they're not sure. They have imposter syndrome. They're not confident. And I think you need to build your confidence because once you have that degree in your hand, you've been to university, you've done the work, you can execute.
Mm.
So you have to have that belief in yourself that you are able to do that. And when you are confronted with anything, that is why it's also good for women to have mentors. Because if you have a mentor and you're going through any challenges in the corporate world, they're able to assist and help you navigate.
Mm. So when you talk about women having mentors, what should a woman look out for in a mentor?
First of all, somebody that has a good reputation,
Okay.
somebody that has been successful in their professional career. It
Yeah.
can be in any field. Somebody that can be truthful to you. You need to hear the truth sometimes. The truth can be painful. You need somebody who's able to handhold you in in your day to day.
Okay.
I would also say you need somebody with a strong personality. You know, somebody that has been in a leadership position and can help you or talk to you about what she has also experienced.
Mm.
You also need somebody that is open, that is able to share their own experiences with you, because most likely they have been through it and we learn from experiences.
Mm.
That's just the honest truth.
Okay. And so now that is sorted. When a woman, what does it mean to be, in your view now, not talking about those you've mentored, your mentees, and what other people's experiences are, in your view, from your understanding of corporate Nigeria or Nigeria as a whole, what does it mean to be a woman?
What does it mean to be a woman? First of all, I'm looking at that question. What does it mean to be a woman? You're doing a job, right? It's about the job. It's not about your gender. So let's start from that. Um, what it means is you are sitting on that table, you are sitting at that job because you are qualified to be able to do it. And in the corporate world and in the entrepreneurship world, women are a bit more resilient now. You see that women are in fields that men are playing. When you look at STEM, when you look at engineering, when you look at politics, yes, we're still a bit underserved when it comes to very high leadership positions or in politics. So we still need to look at how women will play in that field. I think for me, it doesn't mean there should not be any taboo or anything being a woman in a corporate world. Women can multitask. Women do a lot more. You know, they can actually bring a lot of creativity and flexibility and adaptability into the workplace.
Mm. All right. And when you look at Nigeria, have you ever, as a person, experienced a pushback based on gender?
Again, I don't think so. And the reason is because I don't put myself in that position. In fact, I think the time I actually felt a pushback was when I was in the UK working, and a client didn't want to meet with me because I was a woman and I was black,
Right.
and asked to see my manager. But I didn't leave that office. You know, I didn't leave that office, and I ended up having that meeting with a gentleman.
Okay.
Um, I think what also helped us, when we went into Unipetrol and Owando, they looked at us. They didn't look at us as men and women. They looked at us as the expertise that we have to offer. So it's all about the expertise. Yes, you will come across times when you can tell somebody is looking at you to think, does this person really know what they're saying? But you have to build that confidence. In fact, I love that challenge, because when they're looking at me, then I want to prove that I know exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay. All right. And when you said that, what came to mind is, in a corporate society or in a corporate environment, men, beyond our suits and shirts, what separates you is the quality of suits, the designer. That's what determines whether you're up there or low beneath there. But for women, the fashion sense. I mean, the way you appear, not just the brand, but how you appear as a whole. Um, should anybody be, because we've seen people, even we heard it recently in the Senate, should anybody be concerned that, should anybody judge a woman or the capacity of a woman to deliver based on how much attention the woman puts on fashion?
Okay, so what I would say, I believe at any point in time, women should always dress professionally.
Mm,
So, because unfortunately, people judge by what they see.
okay.
Before you speak, they've already made up their mind on the kind of person you are. I don't think you should restrict your fashion. I think your fashion is your personality. Your fashion shows who you are. Your fashion doesn't determine what is in your brain at the end of the day. But I think obviously you need to dress for the right occasion. When you're going to the office, be properly dressed. If you're going for a cocktail with a client, be properly dressed. You can be fashionable and still be appropriately dressed.
Okay, great, great. And when you look at Nigeria right now in this year 2025, and you compare with Nigeria about 30 years when you started, has the society's perception about women in the office space changed?
Absolutely. I think women are standing more for themselves. Women are speaking around the table. Women are letting their voices heard. Women are networking more. Before you'd be afraid to go for after drinks, but women are networking a lot more. And I think with the new breed of millennials, they're stronger. They're stronger, and I work with a lot of young people, and I don't think they look at themselves as
Based on gender.
absolutely. So I think a lot has changed, and I mean, if you look at the banking sector,
Oh, yeah.
we have about what 80 or 90% all women that are CEOs in Nigeria. We didn't have that before.
Yeah.
So things are really, really, really changing. Look at Funke Okwe came in one. Look at what she's done in the tech space.
Yeah. So but anyway, this is on the side, by the way. Looking back at banking, do you regret not going into banking?
Absolutely not.
You don't miss it
Absolutely
anyway.
not. Absolutely not.
Okay.
No regrets at all.
All right.
No regrets.
But when you were getting into the industry back then, I'm sure you had advice from different people, what to do, what not to do. If you were to give an advice to a young lady getting into the corporate Nigeria right now, what would that advice be? On do's and don'ts, what to do, where to go, how to go about it.
Okay, so my advice is a couple of things. You have to be strategic. You need to know what you want to do. You have to be professional in the way you want to do it. I think it's always good, as I said before, to have a good mentor that can lead you and that it can be your sounding board. I think once you're going up the corporate ladder, you have to believe in yourself. Don't undermine yourself. Sometimes I think we undermine ourselves. You need to be able to speak up when they're having meetings. Let your voice be heard. Engage, network. Then understand the environment, because every corporate environment is different. So understand the culture, of that office, and try and imbibe the culture of that office. And another thing is, I always say to anybody I meet that don't wait for the organization to train you. You have to really invest in yourself. Invest in yourself through training programs. If you can't afford training programs, there's loads of leadership books, how to navigate, there are loads. So always use it like your Bible. I'm reading Leadership 2.0 right now. I'm marking pages every day of different things that are in that book. I mean, I've been here for 30 years, but I'm still learning something new. So you have to actually invest in yourself.
So as a wrap up, you've been doing business here for long time. You led a couple of companies. And how difficult or easy is it doing business in Nigeria? We say a lot of people when a lot of times people talk about ease of doing business. apart from the fact that we had a lady chairing that, Oluwole Jumoke Oluwole Doctor, you see a lot of male business owners coming out. But from the point of view of a business, a top performer, a business owner, being a female as well, is there a difference? How difficult or easy is it?
So, again, I think doing business in Nigeria can be difficult, So I don't think it goes to whether you're a woman or not. Maybe you panic more as a woman because, some women panic more than others. That's just it. But Nigeria is a difficult place because there's so many uncertainties. Power, for example, if that increase, once anything to do with diesel or whatever increases, it goes to your operational cost. You have no control. There's certain things you don't have control over. Including power, cost of transportation has gone up. You have employees. How do you help them in able to get to work? I mean, let's not even talk about the exchange rate. So there's just so many things. The infrastructure. I'm still an SME. I can't imagine what people in manufacturing will be going through. Yeah. So I think that there's just so many things. But I think having the right support, is also good. And I think also when I say right support, we're all going through the same things. So I don't think you'll say it's just you. And then being prepared, just understanding the landscape, preempting anything that it can happen in the business environment. And obviously sometimes you have clients do that don't pay as quickly. I wanted to just say another, working in the corporate world, I think one thing you have to do is you have to have a fantastic home support. Motherhood and your professional career can be crazy trying to juggle it. But if you have a good support at home, your mind is at rest because mothers are working 24 hours being a mother, they're working being in the office. So juggling all that can be very, very difficult. But if you have a fantastic support at home, it puts your mind at rest. So you're able to excel. I'm not saying it's easy, it's difficult. I mean, I've missed sports days. I've missed meetings in school that I don't want to, but it's the nature of the work, So I apologize to my children, but it's just the work, I've had to travel with my son that I was nursing. As soon as I had give birth to him, I had to take him along with me. Is either I say I'm not going for the meeting because I have a baby.
And that's the difference. That so what she's saying is, in essence, a woman can do everything a man does, but that does not mean you neglect the other thing you do as a woman. You just need to balance it out, look for a way around it. The same thing, I'm sure a lot of people say, what about men? Yes, men that are leaving the home, open as well, they're not playing the role as men. But since it's International Women's Day, we're talking women. So, so back to you now as we bring this home. Now, when you look at Nigeria, you spoke about when South Africa did their rebranding and communication stuff, how you saw what that does to a nation. And looking at Nigeria and how we have obviously not rebranded since 1960, I don't think we need to ask anybody if we've ever done that. We tried to do Great Nigeria Good People at some point, but it didn't really last long. What are we losing as a result of poor communication?
Okay, so when you look at when a corporate communicates, when a brand communicates, when a country communicates, the first thing you're looking for is what is their message. Once you're able to understand their message, you have more clarity on what the organization or government. So I'm not sure at the moment our message is quite clear internally and externally. And there's so many things that can be done in terms of communication. I think we could look at the strategy. Who are the key people that we need to communicate with? What do we want to communicate about? What do we want to talk about? What do we want people to hear? What do we want people to understand? How can we ensure there's no miscommunication? How can we ensure that people don't make assumptions with what we communicate? So it's starting with messaging. Let's get our messaging right. What are the top 3 things we want to be known for in this country? Once we know that, because we can't focus on everything, let's focus on the top 3. Is it how agriculture is going to impact the nation? Is it oil and gas? Is it entrepreneurship? We have a lot of young people. Is it digital transformation? What are the things that we want to be known for? Once we're able to agree that and focus on that and start changing things, then everything else will begin to fall in. But if you ask me, what do I want? That's what when I meet with most corporates and they tell me, oh, we want to be in the news. Just send us press releases. I'm like, but what do you want to communicate? What do you want people to know? Who are your key target audience? You're not going to communicate to everybody. Yeah. So give me your top 3 or 4 audiences. Then I will map out the message I think that audience wants to hear from you.
Okay, so Nigeria needs to do that to get better, should I say, more respect from the world and even from within Nigeria. Because if you ask an average Nigerian now, what does Nigeria mean to you? I can't imagine what they'll say. The first thing that comes to mind is corrupt leadership. Unfortunately, that's what a lot of Nigerians will say. But I'm not dragging you to that conversation. But lastly, before I let you go, you have access. You schooled abroad, US, UK. You've been to many places in the world. Doing business in Nigeria is not easy, but you stuck to doing business in Nigeria. Why have you not been an early Japa beneficiary as far back as 90s or early 2000s?
Let me even add to that. I have a British passport.
Okay. So you don't need to be here.
One, Nigeria is home. The opportunities in Nigeria, honestly, is enormous. There's so much opportunity. Would I be a senior CEO running my own PR company in the UK or US and people will come to me? I'm not sure. Finally, I think if we truly want Nigeria to change, we have to be here and be part of that change. I'm Nigerian from Ibadan, or your state. I love working here. Honestly, I do love working in Nigeria. I love Nigeria. And I think the more we're here to change our nation, to impact the country, the more that will also help our children not to japa. It's about building the foundation for them. Once you're able to build the foundation for them, then the rest, but I've not even thought about leaving.
Relocating, because in your case, you wouldn't be Japa. Just going back to the other side of town.
No, I think the opportunities here are enormous. And there's still so much I feel I need to do in the communication space. I don't even think I've done half the things I would like to do. And I really do enjoy working. I mean, I don't see, when I travel abroad and I see people saying, oh, your medical system, your roads, your whatever. I'm like, well, you grew up here. You went to primary school here. So I don't get it.
Okay.
I don't get it. Those are the things that you just have to live with and just overcome.
Or in your way, change it.
Exactly.
In your little way.
In your way, change it. So I think, I'm here
not
to
in a hurry.
Okay.
Okay. And we call it a wrap here today. But what she said now reminded me of what Mr. Tunde Kelani, should we say veteran or renowned filmmaker, said. We met in Burkina Faso 2007, and we're having a chat around doing movies abroad. By the way, this is a man that has been celebrated globally, Los Angeles Film Festival and the likes. And he said at some point when it was celebrated, was it Los Angeles Film Festival, it was asked, so when are you coming to do your shoot a movie in America? And they said to them, I'm not done shooting movies across Africa. We have so many stories to tell. So why go abroad? The reality is that there's so much we can do here, as irrespective of your gender, and there is so much we lack that you can influence just by contributing. And you can only contribute when you believe. One of those that believe today is one of our female top performers as we celebrate International Women's Day. And that is, I won't make that mistake again. I've always wanted to find out what Duro Saro means. But instead of calling her Tokunboh George-Taylor, I call that Duro Saro George-Taylor. So, okay, here I go again.
So I'll tell you what Duro Sharo means.
Okay.
Duro Sharo, iron welders.
Ah, Duro Sharo. Okay,
yes.
okay. Now I know. It's good to ask. So, Tokunboh George-Taylor has been a guest at this day as we celebrate International Women's Day. We say thank you for your time, for having us in your office.